Coming up on Fulton Today, Fulton's election board agrees to move its meetings to Assembly Hall to give the public a live view.
The November general election is still 2 months away, but that's not stopping Fulton County from being properly prepared. I'm Brian Robinson, and I'll have more on this story coming up.
And UPS prepares for another major hiring event with the county's help, and we'll have details. That and much more starts right now on Fulton Today. Welcome to Fulton Today, everybody. I'm Shania Chavis-Rucker. In an effort to provide transparency to its decisions and discussions, the Fulton County Board of Registration and Elections agrees to start televising its meetings starting this month. The decision comes just as elections workers prepare for November's big general election day. FGTV's Brian Robinson joins us now with more on this story. Brian?
Shawnee, the public usually comes here to Assembly Hall for Fulton County's Board of Commissioners meetings. Now they can come to this venue or their computer to watch the Board of Registration and Elections meetings live.
For years, on the second Thursday of each month, Fulton County's Board of Registration and Elections has conducted its meetings in this large room within their office.
So moved. Second.
Now, thanks to a request from the Board of Commissioners, the Board of Registration and Elections will hold meetings inside Assembly Hall.
What that does is it really brings that board meeting, that Board of Registration and Elections meeting, closer to the citizens that are affected by their decisions.
The venue change will allow for better streaming coverage so more residents can stay informed about election business.
The Board of Registration and Elections makes a lot of important decisions about voting in Fulton County, and they determine where our early voting locations will be, any precinct changes, and a number of other issues that directly affect voters.
The November general election takes place November 6th. Once again, there will be early voting options at 24 county facilities starting October 15th. And though election officials are expecting a big voter turnout, those not registered to vote by October 9th will not have the opportunity to cast their ballot. The Registration and Elections Department received high praise from the Secretary of State after May's general election for reporting results before any other metro county. With staffers and poll workers being honored for that hard work during an appreciation luncheon, election officials say there's no reason not to expect another successful election in November.
Well, we can't be a success without poll workers. Poll workers put in long days. They have to know a lot of procedures. They have to know election law. They have challenging customer service challenges in the polling place. And I know how hard it is to do that job. And all of the people that continue to do this year after year are very dedicated.
Now, the county's main website, fultoncountyga.gov, is where you can go to live stream the Board of Registration and Elections meetings starting September 13th. For more information about the November election and what all is needed to register to vote, you can log on to fultonelections.com. Reporting for FGTV, I'm Brian Robinson.
Thank you very much, Brian. Another new bit of county news to share. The days of having to come to a county government building to get your car tag, well, it is over. Now you can register your car at the grocery store. Ribbon cutting ceremonies to celebrate 2 new tag renewal kiosks at the Kroger on Piedmont Road in Buckhead and Glenwood Avenue mark the new service offering. Tax Commissioner Dr. Arthur Ferdinand says the partnership with Kroger just made sense.
It's far more convenient than doing it over the internet, renewing over the internet, because you can get your decals immediately, just as if you go to their offices, the Fulton County offices.
The automated tag renewal kiosks are available from 6 a.m. to 1 a.m. 7 days a week and takes no more than a minute to complete. As long as your records are up to date, all you need is your identification and pay a $3 transaction fee and a credit fee equaling 2% of the total transaction amount.
Traffic in Buckhead is not great, and so for folks to come and renew the tag here instead of having to drive to North Annex or downtown, it's just a great service to folks.
Feedback has been phenomenal. We've serviced over 100,000 customers, which means 100,000 tags have been renewed in these kiosks in our stores, so very exciting.
Similar kiosks are available throughout the state. These latest two mark the third and fourth tag renewal kiosk in Fulton County. The other two are at the Kroger on Cleveland Avenue in Atlanta and another one in Sandy Springs. Atlanta School Police and the Sheriff's Office team up in the name of protecting students.
Do hereby solemnly swear and affirm.
Sheriff Ted Jackson swore in 16 Atlanta school police officers to give them more authority to perform their duties and keep students safe anywhere in Fulton County and the city of Atlanta. Previously, their jurisdiction ended 500 yards beyond school district property.
It's a great thing when law enforcement agencies work together to provide protection for the people in the county or in the city, and in this case specifically our students. It definitely helps to make our students safe, secure, and strong.
Atlanta Public Schools formed a police force in 2016, and Sheriff Jackson is expected to swear in 5 additional school officers sometime this fall. WorkSource Fulton, in collaboration with United Parcel Service, UPS, the Center for Working Families, and WorkSource Atlanta, will host another recruitment event next week. Just like its hiring event in July at its new Smart Hub in Southwest Atlanta, UPS wants to hire more than 300 part-time package handlers to be a part of its new Southeast Metropolitan Automated Routing Terminal, the Smart Hub. It's located on Fulton Industrial Boulevard next to the Fulton County Airport Brownfield.
They need jobs here, and we're looking to hire some people, so we think it's a great partnership and it's working really well together.
The recruitment event will be held Tuesday, September 11th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. for part-time package handlers. The event will be held at the Roselle Fan Community Center located at 365 Cleveland Avenue in Atlanta. Now, there are some pre-registration requirements. Please contact the WorkSource Fulton office for additional details. And still to come on Fulton Today, looking back at the honoring of a civil rights icon. We'll share that story with you next in our district by district coverage. Fulton leaders celebrate the revitalization of one West Side neighborhood and the renaming of a popular parkway in honor of a civil rights icon. Here's this week's district by district coverage. We began with a look back at the historic dedication of one of Atlanta's busiest thoroughfares. City of Atlanta officials ceremoniously renamed Freedom Parkway after U.S. Representative John Lewis. Fulton Chairman Rob Pitts joined the celebration to honor the civil rights icon.
We served together, and I actually put the votes together that led to the creation of the Presidential Parkway, and so I had to be here to support him in that effort, but it also brings back a lot of memories for me and the fights that went on back then when people were tying themselves to trees to stop it, and I was sort of creative back in those days and put the votes together and came up with the compromise that led to where we are today.
While the congressman was overjoyed with the street naming, he asked those in attendance to do their part to make this country better.
It's a great distance to travel all the way from Selma, Alabama, from the heart of the Black Belt, from the Edmund Pettus Bridge to the John Lewis Freedom Parkway. So I'm honored to be here today.
The congressman was a key activist during the civil rights movement and became known internationally after being brutally beaten during the Bloody Sunday March in Selma, Alabama. Another tribute will be erected at Hartsfield-Jackson Airport just before the Super Bowl. In District 4, we also want to make sure that you saw the big announcement by the Atlanta Super Bowl Host Committee, the Arthur M. Blank Family Foundation, and the NFL Foundation. Commissioner Natalie Hall joined the officials at the groundbreaking ceremony where the details of a $2 million capital improvement project was announced for the John F. Kennedy Park. The project is a part of the Host Committee's Legacy 53 initiative.
If we built the finest sports complex in the United States, which we think we have, but didn't help, with other partners do the revitalization of the West Side, it would be a failure. So we've had great success here. It's work in progress. There's more work to be done, but this park is just another step in that direction.
The commissioner says this project will leave a lasting impact for the community she represents.
This is an important moment for us to bring together the neighborhood. This legacy neighborhood needs an enhancement like this. Right here next to Hollis Elementary School and across from the senior center, we can bring the seniors together and bridge the gap between our seniors and our youth.
The renovations at John F. Kennedy Park will include new playground, basketball court, and walking path, just to name a few, and will be unveiled the week of the Super Bowl with a ribbon-cutting ceremony. That'll all take place in February. District 5 Commissioner Marvin Arrington Jr. wrapped up the summer series of District Dialogues town hall meetings. The final session was held at the Southeast Neighborhood Senior Center. The commissioner invited county staff to inform everyone about the services and address the concerns of residents.
We spoke about elections, library renovations, and senior services, including minor home repair and transportation and food and meals for seniors. So we're glad to share with our seniors all of the services. Some of them knew about the services, some did not. So we're glad to inform them and update them on all of the services that Fulton County has to offer them.
The commissioner will hold another series of community meetings this fall. Check out the full calendar at FultonCommission5.com. There's much more to come on Fulton Today. Stay with us. Fulton's medical examiner teams up with Emory University to address the issue of suicide. Chief ME Dr. Jan Gorniak and her associate ME Rachel Geller tried to dispel some of the common myths during the Fact or Fiction Dispelling Suicide Myths event at Mount Pisgah United Methodist Church. FGTV's Priscilla Ortega has the story.
You see the warning signs, but you don't take them as warning signs.
It is a conversation not many people admit to wanting to have, but it is a conversation that medical and mental health professionals say that is needed, the discussion about suicide.
Suicide, as you well know, is a tragic act and a taboo topic of conversation.
It's why the North Fulton Mental Health Collaborative decided to host this forum at the Mount Pisgah United Methodist Church in Johns Creek.
Suicide is something that almost every family has been impacted by, whether it is a family member or somebody close that they know.
The forum was titled Fact or Fiction, Dispelling Suicide Myths, and included Fulton professionals who deal with the issue firsthand. The Fulton County Medical Examiner's Office and Emory University are studying beliefs about suicide in our community. Chief Medical Examiner Jan Gorniak and Associate ME Rachel Geller were hoping to eliminate some common misconceptions about suicide.
What we're finding is that some of these myths that are held in the community are not necessarily true.
It's important for us to get out into the community and share our numbers so we can dispel myths. And it was great to be here to share the information that we have, but also the engagement and interaction with the community is it going to help us do a better job.
According to the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, suicide is the 10th leading cause of death in the U.S., third leading cause of death for 15 to 24-year-olds, and the second for 24 to 35-year-olds. In fact, 38,000 Americans die by suicide each year.
This particular topic really resonates with a lot of people because it's touched their individual lives and they have questions and they want to figure out what can they do in their own lives to help prevent it from occurring, with their loved ones and with their friends.
Residents who attended this forum were encouraged to participate in a survey about the perceptions of suicide. The results of the survey will be compared to 10 years of data collected at the medical examiner's office and will also be shared with physicians, social workers, county officials, and with the public, including the people here who want to keep the conversation going with the hope of finding a solution to the ever-growing problem. Reporting for FGTV, I'm Priscilla Ortega.
Thank you, Priscilla. New moms get a lesson on how to feed their newborn babies. To wrap up National Black Breastfeeding Week, a special Latch and Learn session was held at the Oak Hill Health Center. The mothers were taught all about the benefits and best techniques for this feeding option for their babies.
Try to work with women at least 3 to 4 times a week. I'm with moms helping them out. I'm a breastfeeding mom myself, so I practice what I preach.
It's more reaffirming than teaching, but I definitely learned some new holds for breastfeeding and definitely reconstituted some of my own things that I already know and just gave me some confidence.
According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the CDC, the percentage of women who initiated breastfeeding was 64.3% for African American moms, 81.5% for white moms, and 81.9% for Hispanic mothers.
Georgia Week initiation breastfeeding rate is 52%, but here in Fulton County, our initiation rate is 60%, so we are better than the state.
Fulton's WIC program provides services for new mothers who qualify for the program. You can contact the Board of Health offices for more details. And still to come on Fulton Today, the name of an Atlanta community icon is now the name of a local library. We'll share that story with you next. The name of a beloved community leader has been added to one of the county's libraries. During the special renaming ceremony, an announcement was made that the Southeast Library will now be known as the Louise Watley Library at Southeast Atlanta. Community leaders, library officials, and library patrons were all in attendance during the special ceremony to honor the community leader and public housing advocate, as well as her granddaughter.
Knowing that legacy is always so much more important than anything else. The fact that how she lived on this earth, and she's still living, but how she lived and the things she did for other people, servitude, it got her to this place, got her to where everybody understands and appreciates the work she's done all of, for all the years she did it.
I think it's a well-deserved name change after hearing about her life and legacy and how she was an advocate for the people in the community. I think she is the perfect person to be named for this library branch.
I paint with vibrant colors, and I want the actual project to look alive, so I use the colors that I saw in her picture, along with adding a creative touch with the flower arrangements. It was a beautiful project. I enjoyed doing it. I turned it around pretty quickly, and I really enjoyed contributing to the whole project.
Ms. Watley assisted and supported underserved communities to ensure they were able to live well and thrive for more than 50 years. Most of her work was done in the Carver Homes Pryor Road community, which is where the library is now located. The Louise Watley Library at Southeast Atlanta first opened its doors in 2016 as a part of the county's library system's capital improvement program. And finally, another big event in downtown receives a major welcome from the county's library staff. Atlanta Fulton Public Library representatives hosted a welcome party for those who wanted to attend this year's Dragon Con. Held at Woodruff Park, attendees engaged in free activities like virtual reality gaming, drone racing, a photo booth, and drawings for their favorite characters with 3D pens.
Dragon Con is one of the largest events in the Southeast. It brings thousands of people to the city, and what we wanted to do was sort of bring all these people together for a free event that they could go to welcome Dragon Con to our city and say, we love that you're here, come hang out with us, use our library resources, and welcome to our city.
It's pretty cool. I learned some things that the library actually has available that I never knew existed.
I think it's interesting today. I think it shows kids how to read, and that reading is not that bad. And reading is very essential to life right now, in my opinion.
Dragon Con started in Atlanta way back in 1987 with only 1,200 people attending. It's estimated that over 80,000 attended last year's version during a 4-day span. Ooh, folks love Dragon Con. Well, before we go, our reminder that we'd like to connect with you online. Be sure to follow FGTV on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for up-to-date Fulton County news. And you can always watch a replay of this show or any other FGTV program anytime on our YouTube channel. Well, that does it for this edition of Fulton Today. I'm Shania Chavis Rucker. Thank you so much for watching. Join us each week for news around and about Fulton County.